It's so funny, man. It's so clever. And then the sincerity of when he comes back and he's like, are they still out there? He's like, and it's like a mini oneer.
Yes.
It's like a mini oneer shot where he walks over to the window and the camera turns and he's like, yeah.
Yeah. But dude, well, hello there, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Confused Breakfast Podcast. Do you remember the pure joy of a trip to the video rental store as a kid?
I do.
It's hard to beat the ease of the modern era and streaming platforms where you don't even have to leave your couch, but there was something truly special about heading to Blockbuster, picking out a movie hand by hand, grabbing a cornetto in the checkout line, and heading home to watch it.
Same.
On this podcast, we revisit and dissect some of our favorite childhood movies from that magical era to see if they still move us the way they did as kids. I'm your host, Mike Schulte. Joining me, as always, a failed actress and a twat, Shaun Pryor and AJ Vance. How the heck are you?
I did not call Diana a failed actress.
Which one's which?
Oh, I'm a failed actress.
Oh, yeah, he's a twat.
I'm probably a twat.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah. Tattooed white trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
Tattooed with...
American trash.
Well, boys,
Yikes.
Let's just get into it.
on today's episode, we dive into the first movie of the Cornetto trilogy.
Yes.
A movie nominated for 3 BAFTA awards, the best zombie movie ever made. Happy start of October and spooky season. We are, of course, talking about 2004's Shaun of the Dead.
Best sound movie. All right.
Well
This is
done,
my
Dane.
segment, okay?
It's a very
Ladies
good movie.
and gentlemen, it's time for another nostalgic journey to the
Best?
past
I don't know.
with the Confused Breakfast.
Listen, Shaun, this is my segment.
There's
I
just
get
so
to say-
many more out there that I need to share.
Everyone knows that what I say here
There's,
is...
George A. Romero.
Shaun,
it's my
you,
Dawn of
you're
the
going to
Dead,
have your segment to
Night
just...
of the Living Dead.
I'm not even going to start the thing back up again. If you are new to this podcast, my friends, we're going to be reviewing Shaun of the Dead scene by scene with a modern eye. But in order to properly do that, we must first discuss it with pure nostalgia. I'm going to start with Shaun this time. Shaun, tell us the first time you saw this movie, what your nostalgic rating was.
I was in high school. I was consuming all of the horror movies that I could ever imagine. Return of the Living Dead, especially zombie movies at the time. Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, all the Romero stuff and everything in between and before. And then this movie came out and I saw it and I couldn't get enough of it. I laughed my ass off. Probably thought it was like the funniest movie I had ever seen at the time.
100%.
I'm going to go ahead and give it a 9.8. Nostalgically.
9.8. AJ, what about you nostalgically on this movie?
Did you just
Shaun?
say 9.8?
I did.
Nostalgically.
Wow. Oh, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
no,
so
no.
really, actually, you can say whatever number
okay.
you
What
want.
I just said, just you
It
can
actually
take it out.
doesn't
No
matter
one
at
cares.
all. I am really trying to think of the first time and first person who really showed this movie to me. And it was so hard to think of. Like I just remember pretty sure I just watched this in college. And I'll be honest with you, it could have been Shaun that said I need to watch this movie. I don't know, but I remember thanks, babe. I remember like thinking like I don't want to watch. Oh, it's gonna be like scary and stuff. Like I don't want to watch like a scary like spooky
But
movie.
my friend's name is Shaun, so I have to watch it.
Oh man. But I remember thinking to myself, this is like one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life up to this point.
Yeah.
Like put all the scary stuff aside. I was like, the comedy of this is just it was so new and interesting to me and so fast yet so dry and so like it was the new age of Zucker Brothers in my brain. You know what I mean? Brains. And
Nice.
I just kept thinking like this is amazing. And from the first time I saw it, I remember watching the movie over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
And so I'll be honest with you, nostalgically, I will agree. I'm going to call this like a 9.5.
9.5 for me. I was heading out of my senior year of college into my second senior year of college, and I was definitely
Nice.
starting to consume
Wait.
some films. I'm a fifth year college student.
A lot of people go to school for 7 years.
Yeah, they're called English majors. A lot of good it does me. You hear how I talk. Anyway, I was starting to try to get into like the films I haven't seen. You know, like hey, enough Dumb and Dumber, Billy Madison. Like let's start watching some films here. And I believe I got to watch this at like the Independent Theater down there. Like see
nice.
it and man, this movie, yeah, 100%. I'm a very big fan of the Brits, and so add this British style to this type of a zombie movie kind of a thing. I was all in. I'm going to call it a 9. And fellas, we do have an executive producer. We have our brand new executive producer, but that means someone left us. Oh. Our boy David Gould has had to move on to greener pastures. He found a better movie podcast that he could be an executive producer on. Yeah. He's moved on. We want to thank David for his fucking time of service.
Thank you, David.
Absolutely.
So good to hear your breakdowns every week.
It really was. They were wonderful, and I think I think Mike's plate is pretty full. I don't want to take the opportunity away from him. I may have to make a memorandum, memoriam for David Gould. Just in the arms of the angel. It's like he's not dead. Like,
he just doesn't want to do this.
He just doesn't want to do it anymore, man. He just doesn't want.
No, thanks, David. But that does open the door for a brand new executive producer to join the team. Michael Giuliano is with us. Welcome to the team.
What's up, Michael?
This is his first movie. He says, not long after we moved from New York to Connecticut, my mom became best friends with our new neighbor, Debbie. Aside from swapping recipes and gossip, we eventually got into the habit of having a monthly movie night between our families. And I distinctly remember Shaun of the Dead being one of the first movies we watched. I was 14 at the time, so I don't want to say that the jokes were going over my head, but maybe my whiny teenage sense of humor wasn't vibing with the dry as scones humor that was going on for most of the movie. The repeated gags got a little bit of a laugh. There were no real big scares, and I remember most of us just being surprised at how suddenly the ending came on. But really, I just remember being pretty bored most of it. Still, I also remember my sisters and I saying, "You've got red on you," to each other for a good amount of time afterwards. So I can't deny that it made some kind of impact on us. Nostalgic rating, a little low for Michael, 5.5. Okay. And that is okay. Probably brings it back down to earth a little bit.
Yeah.
So that takes us to an 8.45 nostalgically as a group. Still pretty darn high, fellas. That is the number 11th spot, just below Just Friends, just above Three Ninjas.
Just Friends is still haunting us to this day.
Still.
No matter how much AJ takes off of it, it still comes back.
We're going to strip it away now, boys.
That's fine. It's fine.
We got to move on to the modern day review. So first, we're going to start off with Shaun for some pertinent, important details of the movie. Shaun, what do you got?
Shaun of the Dead, not seen by the dead, of the dead, produced by Naira Park, Allison Owen, Eric Fellner, and Tim Bevan. Written by Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright. Cinematography by David M. Dunlap. Edited by Chris Dickens. Music by Daniel Mudford and Pete Woodhead. Directed by Edgar Wright. Cast: Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, Kate Ashfield, Lucy Davis, Dylan Moran, Peter Serafinowicz. It's tough. Look it up. Penelope Wilton, Martin Freeman, Rafe Spall, and Bill Nighy. With the success of their show, Space, writers Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright wanted to take a crack at a zombie film. Inspired by an episode of Space the two had worked on called Art, and even more heavily inspired by the George A. Romero films they both loved. The two made a couple rules for themselves when writing the script. One, to treat the zombies in the film as a serious threat and never as a joke. And two, that we never leave the perspective of the main character, Shaun. The screenplay was completed in 8 weeks and, as said before, was inspired by Romero films as well as Back to the Future, Dead Alive, The Birds, and Raising Arizona. The cast is a who's who of British comedy television actors from shows including Spaced and even The Office. The duo of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost was based mostly off of the pair's real-life dynamic and friendship.
That's my favorite thing you've said so far.
Having met each other as waiters and living together briefly. Helen Mirren was approached to play Shaun's mom, Barbara, but turned it down, and Penelope Wilton was ultimately cast.
We're coming to get you, Barbara.
Love it. Love it. Principal photography began in May of 2003 and shot primarily in and around London with relative ease. On a budget of $6 million, the film made $30 million at the box office upon its release on September 24th, 2004 in the U.S. The film would garner 2 spiritual sequels in Hot Fuzz and The World's End and launch the career of Edgar Wright, Simon Pegg, and Nick Frost.
Well, thanks, Shaun. Up next, we go to AJ. He does the research for us for ratings and reviews from critics and fans alike. What do you got, bro?
I do some for you guys. You got red on you. That's not red. It's the tomato meter.
Hell yeah.
Bring it.
You had to. It was written for you, baby.
It's written for me, baby. Let's talk about it. IMDb. The tomato meter's giving us 92% certified fresh.
Listen to this, crew. Tied, all the movies we've done, tied with Dazed and Confused, Jurassic Park, Rocky, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Pretty good movies.
Pretty good company.
I guess those are okay.
Yep.
Audiences are in complete agreement at 93% from Rotten Tomatoes and 7.9 at IMDb.
That's a masterpiece.
Wow.
7.9 is going to tie it at the number 18th spot of any movie we've done with True Romance and Blues Brothers is where that's putting it.
Blues Brothers feels right.
Yeah. Not True Romance, though?
Well, you know.
That's fine.
Apples and oranges.
Because see, Tarantino didn't actually, he wasn't, part of his...
Well, it makes
He's
sense.
a serious filmmaker. He
'Cause
doesn't
those
make
are-
comedy.
It's about his life.
Spiritual movies, to Tarantino movies. This has spiritual sequels.
Did you know Val Kilmer was...
Did you know? All right, fine.
They laugh too much.
Stop laughing.
Yeah, they don't... Yeah.
You're not that funny. San Francisco Chronicle Carla Meyer simply said 100 out of 100, remarkably fresh and inventive. Entertainment Weekly gave it an 83 out of 100. The daffy, innately British joke that propels the cheeky UK comedy hit Shaun of the Dead is that although real zombies have risen up, slacker wankers Shaun and his best pal and roommate Ed are too slack, wankerish, and blithering British to notice. I just wanted to say it because of all the British slang.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
Because I'm not good at British slang. Let's see, 70 out of 100. The Village Voice said the actors are all on target, particularly Penelope Wilton as Shaun's relentlessly cheery mom. And taken on its own shaky legs, it's a wittier genre coda than Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein.
Nice.
It's definitely there. 63 out of 100. USA Today said, for those who like their spoof silly and their cartoonish gore vivid, Shaun offers some amusement.
Yes, I do.
Okay. I guess.
It offers some amusement.
What do we say? It's a movie.
It's a movie.
That says more than a movie there. Okay, USA Today, eat it. Let's just do some 1 out of 10s, guys.
Well, that was the thing. It wasn't UK today.
It wasn't UK Today. It was USA Today. They didn't really get some of the British humor.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. 1 out of 10. This person said not even worth burning.
What?
Ass Feeler. Well, that's where we're going. Now you're
That's
just going to
good.
be known as Ass Feeler on this podcast. January 11th, 2005. This movie was such complete garbage. It wasn't even worth the electricity I paid to view it. People keep finding ways to diminish the point of watching movies. It's so interesting. The electricity I paid to view it.
I'm not even gonna.
No, you know that's fucking outrageous.
Mike doesn't want to prolong my segment. This movie stuns me that it even made it to the box
hold
office.
on.
Oh, sorry.
I just think that's just such complete bullshit that I don't even want to bring more attention to what he just said.
Fair enough.
But also keep going.
Okay. This
Keep
movie
going for a long
stuns me. No, let's talk for a long time. This movie stuns me that it even made it to the box office, or for that matter, even had a 30-second commercial to advertise it.
What?
I think half of the people on this website voting this movie an 8 or a 7 are out of their minds. I rate this movie a 1 for awful.
Because
But if it were my choice, this is the best. I would give it less than that. Say maybe a 0.079.
why?
Getting very particular.
So no, there is still a little bit of value in this movie.
Yeah. Well, there's still some reason I'd give it more than a 0.
Well, joke's on you, you fucking asshole, because our rating system goes from 0 to 1.
Yeah.
You just gave it a 0.79 out of 1.
0.079.
Oh, 0. Oh, my God. Never mind. The joke's on me now.
The joke is
no,
on
what if our
Michael.
scale is from 0 to 0.01?
Do you
Yeah.
want,
Or no, 0.0. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good movie.
There you go. This movie definitely tries too hard to be like Scary Movie. That's how they finished their review.
Wow.
Do you guys want more like? Well, honestly, I really just pulled bad reviews because I can't see us being real hard on this
I
one.
don't know. Modern day critical rewatch.
Just shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah,
I don't know. I might surprise you.
that's true. Mike always surprises me. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna say this one, and it'll probably be the end. Shut up. Worst movie. Period.
Yep.
Dot.
Wait.
Dot.
Period.
Ever.
Period, then space? Yes. Okay, cool. I just want to check. Worst movie, period, space.
Period, space, dot, ever. This was in September 25th, 2004, so very close, said Sandalo. A friend of mine recommended this film to me as IMDb rated it at, that's a whole sentence he wrote, less than 7. Or sorry, greater than 7. I still have tough trouble with that. So I went to see it, which was the worst mistake I could possibly make. Although I appreciate British humor,
No, you don't.
this film just did not do it for me. I love it when people say it's the same thing as like when you say it's like, look, like I can appreciate like black humor, but Medea just didn't do it for me.
It just like Tyler Perry stuff. It just doesn't do it for
Look,
me.
I'm a huge Tyler Perry fan, but I just don't like Medea. Like,
now,
all right,
like you throw like a Chris Rock in a Medea role.
yeah,
I might be there for it. That
I mean,
might be for me.
I'm just a bigger fan of Martin Lawrence. Like, Big Mama's House. Fuck yeah.
We will cover that.
We will. Yeah. Maybe it was the audience that was laughing hilariously at every scene. Hint, hint. Or maybe the film was just plain bad. It even got, those don't match up. It even got up to the point where I left the theater to make a call. When I got back 5 minutes later, I did not even feel like I missed a part of the film.
What call were you making? What, like,
I had to go make a call.
yes, you didn't receive a call.
No. I better take this. It's like, you know what? I should probably go make that call.
I do have to call my mom back. I forgot.
Call
Might as
your
well
mom.
do it now.
Don't forget the flowers. Some garage posing. The only good thing was the way the camera moved around Shaun on his way to the grocery store. That was brilliant. However, not brilliant enough to push this film above a horrid 1.
Huh.
So there you go, guys.
Well, boys, you know what we should do tomorrow?
What's that?
Keep drinking.
Oh, hell yeah.
A Bloody Mary first thing, a bite at the King's Head, couple at the Little Princess, stagger back here, back at the bar for shots. How's that for a slice of fried gold? Listen, I'm not going to say that if you love her, let her go. I'm not going to bombard you with cliches, but I will say is this. It's not the end of the world. Here we go. So scene 1, Shaun and his girlfriend Liz are socializing in a London pub. Liz is trying to encourage Shaun to strengthen their relationship while their friends Ed, David, and Diane exacerbate things. The next morning, Shaun goes to work at an electronics retail shop. Shaun notices some strange things are happening in the world and then realizes he forgot to book a table for him and Liz. Shaun goes to explain to Liz, but she breaks up with him.
Can I get any of you cunts a drink?
That's right.
I fucking love it. Look, Ed can be a little bit much sometimes, but he's I love having him around. He's a laugh. Can I get any of you cunts a drink?
And his thick British accent too. Like, I mean, he lays it on. And that is what I love about his character in this movie too. The way he
Nick
fucking
Frost?
yes, the way he just dives into it.
Oh, dude. It's not that I don't like hanging out with Ed. Ed, it's not like I don't like having you around. No.
It's fucking brilliant because they're having an argument about bringing everyone else to their hangouts
While having everyone else around.
And you don't, and the filmmaking style of it is you don't know that that's what's happening until they go,
even the blocking and the framing. Dave, it's not like I don't like hanging out with you guys.
That's fine.
Oh, no.
dead.
It's literally, the jokes run so deep, even to the filmmaking, the blocking, and the framing of their shots to make sure that you get a laugh out of it.
You're
if
exactly
possible.
right. The whole of filmmaking is involved in the joke. It's not
Correct.
even just the writing. It is the filmmaking. It is the performances down to the bone.
And not in a self-aware sense.
No.
It's to make you like self-aware of the joke.
Yeah.
It's
It's all
to make you
enhancing.
aware of the joke. And it's all enhancing the joke itself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, man, oh man. I'm a huge Edgar Wright fan. I just
Mm-hmm.
want to get that out of the way. I don't know that I've really ever seen anything of his that I'm just not
Correct.
kind of enthralled with. And when you start off a movie like this, everything, I think if you watch this for the first time, take into account, I shouldn't tell somebody who's about to watch this for the first time, everything is leading to another joke down the way. And that's all I have to say, is like every single thing. It took me so long to realize how much every single little piece and part of this movie is leading to an additional joke or a callback reference later in
Yes.
this movie. It's fucking phenomenal.
Sean, and there are so many. You're the one that's going to have to speak on this, but there are so many references to horror films and everything that has come before. Like they're parroting and paying tribute to everything that has come before them. There's a great. I didn't write it down. There's a great YouTube video of like all the call outs in Shaun of the Dead, and it's fantastic. Starting with right away, the soundbite is from Dawn of the Dead, right? The original.
Yeah.
And then it goes into one of the greatest songs that should be on your Halloween
Specials.
playlist. Ghost
Fucking
Town by the
brilliant,
Specials. That song should be on your Halloween playlist this
Absolutely.
year. It has to be. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, like even just like working at Fourier Electric. That's Ken Fourier who played the soldier in the original Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
And he's also in the remake as the guy is like the no more room in hell. The devil walked the earth. He's that guy. Yeah,
It's endless. We would have to do our own episode.
I mean, like I said in the intro, or when in writing this, is like they wanted to treat the zombies like it's a zombie movie, but it's funny. Like we know and are of the school of the George A. Romero fact that these are zombies and they are actual serious threat because there's so much of them that it's scary, you know. And they realize that and they love it. And I love that George A. Romero loves this movie.
Yeah.
Well, he loved it. R.I.P. During the making of Land of the Dead, I think it was, and he had Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg in that movie.
Sweet. As zombies,
The
right?
whole time
Yeah.
he wears like a director's vest. George A. Romero does. The whole time he had his Shaun of the Dead pin on. The whole
Are
time.
you
Amazing.
serious?
Fucking love this movie.
Oh my gosh.
It's so cool to see. But yeah, I mean, why not? Like even down to all of the little Easter eggs that they're going to throw in and come back later.
Yes.
It is the same thing with throwing in these Easter eggs of references to the films that inspired this one.
Well, and call me shallow. Maybe not shallow is not the right word. Like call me uncultured and like, well, clearly that's what they were going for. But I don't care. Like I love this intro and how they are commentating on like zombies are real. It's real life. Like you're a zombie by going to your job and doing the same. The checkout people do in unison, checking things out and the pushing the shopping carts. Like on the bus, everyone's staring at their phones on the bus.
Yeah.
Like, okay, fine, yeah, it's obvious. Like, but
Okay.
like I still like to see those references and be reminded of that.
Yeah.
Like the real fucking threat is real life, not a zombie apocalypse.
Getting in a rut, getting into a mundane kind
Yes.
of cycle, you know.
It's this. That's the smart, idea behind it all. Is everybody is a zombie already? Probably. How much we don't pay attention to our outside world, and what.
The sweet release of actually becoming a
And
zombie.
probably being able to become one, because
Look, there are a lot of them are on TV.
you can even go as far as to say, obviously, that Shaun is a zombie himself
Yes.
because of the world that he's like the Wonder shots, guys. Come
Yeah.
on. These Wonder shots of him and again, the reference points of like him running down to the shop. He's like, he walks on down. He's just dealing with like the normal little things along his way. That's what's funny. He's like, he's not even on his phone. That wasn't the time, right? He's not on his phone. He's not like searching things or doing anything. He's just like, yeah, I just walked down the shop. I know Nelson down there.
He does
knows
this
me.
walk
I do
1,000
this.
times.
I do this.
Every
he probably
day-
does
every
this
morning.
walk at least multiple times a day.
Yes.
And that's what's brilliant is you get into these routines and these cycles that are just that you walk through them like a zombie,
Yeah.
just at a faster pace.
You barely even realize that you're doing it.
Yeah.
Probably too. Like sometimes I'll just forget that I'm driving.
Yep.
And while I'm driving at work, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's
I should
where
pay
the fuck am I?
attention.
Yeah. I mean, like even this, it's one of the best wonders of all time.
Yeah.
Of all time, I think,
agree.
just because
And they
there's-
do it twice.
and they do it twice, and it's so brilliant. Like Edgar Wright I saw an interview with him. He's like, this is one of the first things they did. I wanted to do a challenging scene
Wow.
and like get the whole crew behind everybody, like rally the troops and
makes
do
perfect
a
sense.
hard thing before we got into the rest of this film.
So smart.
And I think it was his editor or no, cinematographer is like, take this out of the movie. No one's gonna give a shit about this. Take this out. And he felt that as like a rallying cry too. He's like, well, just to spite you, I'm going to do it. And it's
And
like I said, it's one of the best ever made.
And he kept adding more and more and
Yeah.
more details to those scenes to make it impossible to cut out with how fucking good it was.
Yeah.
Because it was in fact amazing. Getting to watch him go to work, the moments of him, like the references never stop coming.
Nope.
The mirrors, like the bathroom mirror
It's like
thing.
that's a shot for shot of some movie, isn't it?
Oh, well, so many.
Like
yeah, I mean,
Werewolf in London.
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's
things
what
like
it was.
that. Like, yeah, I mean, you have Psycho references, even movies that you don't necessarily think of as like horror movies. You think of like the gore movies, right? But then you have like just like the horror movies,
Yeah.
like the shower stuff later on. It all makes so much perfect sense, and they do it in a way that doesn't feel shoehorned.
When they push this, you're going into a scary movie, so they have those moments where you think something bad's going to happen. The music, the tone changes, like his stare at the pub when he goes, yeah, everything will be fine, and he just stares and goes,
Yeah.
him zombie walking out of his room.
Yeah.
The I'm sorry, Shaun, which we say all the time.
Yes.
But like, I'm
No.
sorry, Shaun. He goes, what? Like he gets really like, oh my God, what are you sorry about? What happened? And
No,
then,
I'm sorry, Shaun.
I'll
funny.
stop doing it when you stop laughing.
Yeah.
We did that at the Field of Dreams.
We
sound. Somebody farted in the Field of Dreams.
Probably.
God damn it.
Yeah, man. Like even like the of just going through life like this and not realizing things because like the apocalypse is happening in the background of Shaun not paying attention to it,
Yeah.
and he's gets interrupted by.
He's starting to notice it, but he keeps
Yeah,
getting interrupted.
exactly.
Love
He's like,
that.
oh, what the hell is it? And then, there's another character, But it's like that was also a thing, and the inspiration of the writing of the film was Edgar Wright was completely oblivious to basically the foot and mouth epidemic that was going on at the
shit.
time. He's like, I like slept through that in college, man. I didn't realize what the fuck was going on.
It's so brilliant. I mean, it's the moment that like let's talk about a couple of those moments when he does do the oneer thing basically, and he sees Nelson and he's like reading the newspaper.
Yeah.
Hey, my friend.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, hey, Nelson. Yeah, what's going on?
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, and then he's when he's on the way to the bus, he sees somebody fall over, and he's like, huh? But the bus
Yep.
passes across it.
The homeless guy picking up the pigeon.
Yeah.
Oh,
piss
he's
it-
gone.
and he's
Well,
gone.
shit.
And you're just, it's like all these little references, and but then you get into back to your places of comfort, which is work.
Yeah.
You're 9 to 5. There we go. You're in a
Managing
safe
shit
place.
teenagers.
I got things I want to do in my life. When?
When
Fuck.
That dude. What is that guy's name?
Rafe Spall.
Okay, so
Rafe
he's
Spall.
done a lot,
Yeah.
right?
I think he's in all the Cornetto trilogy.
Okay, he's in Green Street Hooligans as
Yeah.
well. He's one of those boys. He's my quintessential British teenager.
He's great.
He's so
You're
good
right.
in everything that he does.
you think of like Skins or something like that. There's that show, if you ever heard that
Yeah.
or saw that, some of that. The original one that you're just like, you are like quintessential.
And he goes, he gets on the phone. He's like, I don't know, mate. I talked to him. He's got nothing.
He's got
Which
nothing.
he's
I've got
obviously
nothing.
talking to.
He's got nothing. He's got Henry himself.
He's talking to Ed, obviously, right? Yeah,
He's talking
Ed
to
is his
Ed?
dealer. But the best part is that he's talking to a buddy on the phone right there, but Ed is his dealer. I talked to him.
Yes.
He's got nothing.
Yeah.
That's
But-
right.
No,
then
man,
he
I
goes-
ain't got nothing.
Nothing.
I ain't got
nothing.
nothing. I only got a Henry myself.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyways.
And then the
go
best
ahead.
part is he puts his phone away and he's about to start talking. He's proceed.
Continue.
Continue. Like you don't need that extra moment.
Yeah.
But they did it.
The I is the anagram of we. And there's no we. Well, I don't know.
I is in
Get the
pie.
fuck to work,
Meat
man.
pie.
Meat pie. And so, anyways. It's so funny because, again, as much as they play up the idea what you're talking about beforehand, Mike, the stings, the audio stings of building tension and having zero payoff, it's somehow they are able to do the opposite of that with something like this, where they have these dull moments and then they get the payoff.
Yeah,
and it's somehow that. All the way back there, they waited this long to get a payoff. Almost, it feels like, when hey, your dad's here. He's not my dad.
It's my stepdad.
He's my stepdad, and he turns around. He's like, it's like he does that,
even his turnaround.
It's the evil
shocking.
villain. It's the evil villain turnaround.
It's so funny. It's like the stinger payoffs are just as good as the dull payoffs of adding the extra moment of him texting.
Yes,
it's so good.
So one thing I noticed about Bill Nighy's performance, especially in this scene, was knowing that, having watched this movie and knowing that he actually does love Shaun, obviously. And then it's kind of revealed that when he's dead. But the end of his little speech that he gives to Shaun is like, I trust you'll be there. He's like, yeah, I'll be there. He's like, okay. Like he's got this kind of smile.
We look forward
like
to
he's really looking forward to it.
And he's doing it because he fucking loves Barbara too. Like, and he doesn't want her to be disappointed. And he wants Shaun to look good. He's like, Barbara doesn't even know I'm here. I just want you guys to be good. I want you to do what you're supposed to do so that Barbara's happy.
It's basically what he promised Liz.
Yes.
Like she's like, oh, okay, well then everything's taken care of. He's like, yeah, it's everything's taken care of.
Bye.
He's basically doing the same thing. You know, like, oh, everything's good. Cool. I'll see you then, man.
Yep. It's Liz from corporate.
Yep. I thought you said it was a social gathering. How can you not speak to your dad?
By the way, another great reference.
Yep.
Zombie shooting the head. Come on, dude.
Yep. The hard part for me sometimes in rewatching this is that, like, this movie did I saw it and it didn't affect me in the way it should have, because I saw this in 2004 and I was basically Shaun in the relationship that I was in college. I wasn't listening. I you know, like, you know how he doesn't listen. He goes, I'll give up smoking. What's the next one?
What's the next one?
Yeah, I was not listening. Forgetting to like book the date. Always being like, well, but my friends can come along too. Little too late for Shaun in this relationship. And when he does the sort your fucking life out, like when he writes on a thing, like I was there, but I had already seen this movie. Like I should have learned from this, you know?
Sure.
And I fucking feel that emotion in just getting too comfortable in life and just being like, yeah, everything's going to be fine. Like we're always going to be together and everything's always going to be great. And you feel this, man, when he's sorts your life out. I mean, like I'm telling you, dude.
I genuinely think that is, we talked a little bit about this before. It's like being in our neighborhood or something and being like the one time I saw like my newest neighbor across the way and I'm like, oh, he's not doing that right. And I'm like, God damn it.
I am that person.
I don't want to be this person. And you don't want to fall into these mundane realities and constant, you know, it's the same thing over and over again. But there's also the idea of the ignorance of you don't want to fall into that. But at the same time, not everything can stay the same.
You can't.
You can't just stay the same. You can't stay. If you're 29 years old and you're still hanging out like you're 23, like there's something that has to give.
Yes.
And you have to sort your life out. Sort your fucking life out, mate.
The best advice given in this movie.
Yeah. And again, I love this because we, as an audience, are probably meant to demonize Pete.
Yes.
Whereas Pete is trying to do something with his life and trying to get out of this
Pete's
rut.
made the transition.
He's making that
Shaun
transition.
hasn't done it yet.
Exactly. He's been at the same job for how long, and he has a friend who is holding him back, who's just sitting on the couch and playing video games.
It's the writing 101. You know, you have your character. It needs to be kind of based on the motivations of this character. So you have the complete opposite of what the character wants to be and what the character kind of was, and then Shaun is in between. So Nick Frost's character Ed is what he used to be, and he's still pulling that way. But then his Pete is what he should probably strive to be, and he's in that middle. It's a perfect.
We've all been there, man.
It's that's like, you know, writing 101. It is. He'll learn from each of those. Things, you know.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, let's move on to scene 2. So that night, Ed tries to cheer Shaun up at the Winchester. They end up getting really drunk and pissing off their roommate, Pete. The next morning, Ed and Shaun notice that a zombie apocalypse has taken over. They kill a few zombies and make the decision to go pick up Liz and Shaun's mom. So I said that, I read that little speech that Ed did, where he's like, hey, fucking. So what's really cool, apparently this was in the DVD commentary, when Ed attempts to cheer Shaun up the Winchester, he's actually summarizing the events of the next day.
Yes.
Isn't that fucking nuts? He says, Bloody Mary. The checkout girl's name is Mary.
Mary.
Bite at the king's head, basically being Philip.
Yeah.
The king of the family,
Right.
bite at his head. The couple, David and Di, little princess being Liz, stagger back, impersonating zombies to the bar for shots, firing the gun at the bar. Like, I don't know. That feels a little too like,
I don't
no
know, man.
way. But at the same time, you're like, oh my God.
Everything else is so smart about
Yes.
this. It's why not?
It's funny because I don't think there are some points that, and it's the writing, it's the direction and everything, but I feel like Edgar Wright it's like a new school version of like a Kubrick to me, of this movie making, that you have a moment like that and you think to yourself, no way you do that on purpose. And it's like, no, absolutely it's on fucking purpose. It seems like there are mistakes like that can be made in a movie, but Edgar Wright doesn't make the mistakes. Or a Tarantino. He means to have these references in there. He's trying to do it. He wants to make sure it's there and it's valid, just like Kubrick. There's not a mistake in a Kubrick movie, and if you think that there is, he's happy. Pay attention. He's happy that you're dwelling on it and questioning it.
Yeah.
Is it or is it not? I think Edgar Wright is honestly in that same vein.
I feel like
with
the Cornetto trilogy, especially this duo of writers, Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright, I think they are shooting the script to a T. Maybe here and there they go off it a little bit, but I think when they're making this Cornetto trilogy, they are shooting the script to a T, and that's what it is. Like, they were working on the script so hard, in like 8 weeks, I guess. They probably had a first draft in 8 weeks.
Oh, yeah, of course. Sure.
But they went through it and like, oh, how about we had this? How about we had that? Oh, well, let's take that out.
Call back
this
from
is
there.
funny.
Exactly.
Let's do this callback. Oh, hey, we should reference this movie in this
It's
too.
going through the system over and over and over again until it's like, okay, I think we got it.
Yeah.
I want to shoot this now.
The thing that I love most about Shaun of the Dead, which is why I made my personal opinion statement of this being the best zombie movie ever, is that we've all seen the zombie movies where once someone turns into a zombie, everyone's like, oh no, it's a zombie, But this movie is what would really happen. There's no such thing as zombies. There will never be such thing as zombies.
Right.
If it does happen, we'll all be like, that person's so fucking drunk.
Yes.
So
There's a girl
drunk.
in the garden. What?
She's so drunk.
There's a girl in the garden.
Yeah.
In the garden, there's a girl.
That's what I love about this. This is how it would actually go if a zombie apocalypse happened.
Especially if you're hungover.
Oh, and FYI,
which they very much are.
Yeah.
think about things that you do go through, or just illness on the most base level. It's like somebody's got a fever, or somebody's got this thing, or like when Pete comes down and he's like, he tells him, and they're,
what happened to your hand?
What happened to your hand? It's like, I got mugged on the way home. Yeah, you just rationalize it.
Yeah.
I got mugged.
Which is why I feel like shit.
One of them tried to bite me.
Tried to bite you?
Why did he try to bite you? I don't know. I didn't stop to ask him. And so but you think about that, you're like, yeah, so this guy freaking bit me. Like, what an asshole, and what a weird thing to do. And he's like, I've got a splitting headache. He's like, and I have to work in the morning. He's like, and you guys are making it worse. And by the way, one of my favorite underrated lines is when he comes down, pulls the record from it after they've been going,
which is very bad.
And he whips out. He's like, hey, don't scratch it.
That's the second album I ever bought.
He says, don't scratch the album I've been scratching on. It's like, okay, but he gives that, and like you're saying, you rationalize every single little piece. And it's like, there's a girl out there. She's drunk.
The drunk guy, though, they're doing white lines, and the drunk guy's singing back to them.
I want to, I definitely agree. I want to talk about a little bit about the scene before this where they are in the Winchester and he's talking to Shaun, trying to talk him down. the characters
on.
in the bar,
Come on, man.
snake eps, and then the girl's like that
Caucasotomania.
Mania.
And he like the way Simon Pegg's laughing at that, like
Yes.
feels so genuine.
But
It
it's like
seems very genuine.
what I talk about in movies sometimes is like it's story time in movies, and like we get to know we get to know some of these people in the bar, and that's another thing too. Is like Ed knows these people in the bar. Shaun doesn't.
Yes.
Like that's Ed's life. He's like he likes to like our friend Carl. He likes to talk to people like this and get to know them and like what's their story. He's like, oh, fucking snake ups. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Fucking love that.
It could be outlandish. It could be that he's just embellishing. It could be like I feel like it's very true about snake eps, but not coccycidal maniac. And he's like, well, what about Big John? It's Big John,
Ex-mafia.
ex-mafia. It's like it's why he's got a gun above
Big
the bar.
John also
Big
says dogs can't look up.
They can.
Yes.
It's just, yeah, man, I'm telling you, like, you get, it seems nonstop when you're reviewing this movie. You keep having a scene where you're like, I think this is my favorite. And then you're like, oh, I think this is my favorite. Even, he does the second walk now and everybody's gone. The same fucking one shot. But the guy that was washing the car, now there's a hole in the windshield.
Right.
And when he gets back, you don't have to go this hard in the paint.
No.
But when he sits back down and turns the TV on, and the clicking from station to station to station tells you the story.
Having Coldplay in there and like Tasha or like
Just
like it's
Like
prominent UK
real.
Panic on the streets of London. Like it just you don't have to do that. I already love your
literally
movie.
being eaten alive.
Literally eaten alive.
It blows my mind at how fucking good that shit is.
Yeah.
It's great.
And again, we get that point of every single time there's about to be some sort of reveal. Even in this, it's the epitome of it. It's like people being literally eaten alive.
Yeah.
And then he goes back to it to get a little bit more.
Yes.
He's like, hey, there's like left the door, but again, there's a girl in the garden. And I have to say this. Probably the moment that made my brother Bob and I laugh out loud the hardest is when he's like, Mary, I'm sorry. It's like, he's like, look, I'm being serious. Like, you have to get off me. And he pushes her. He's like, I said, stop. And she falls on the pole. And like, number one, their reactions. He's just like, and
pulls out his camera.
And then he's getting back up and he pulls out the camera again. He's just like,
Young kids don't know what that camera is.
But and the fact that he ran to go get a disposable camera
2 seconds.
He's like, come on, like, no, help me out. Like the playful manner of this and that winding of that camera, and he knocks that out of his hand. Another moment where my brother was like describing a movie to me and like I hadn't seen. It's so funny, man. It's so clever. And then the sincerity of when he comes back and he's like, are they still out there? He's like, and it's like a mini oneer.
Yes.
It's like a mini oneer shot where he walks over to the window and the camera turns and he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
But dude, you forgot the most subtle line of that scene is when she's coming over and he's like, oh, I think she likes you. He's like, listen, no, really, I just got out of a relationship.
Now listen here, Mary.
The fact that he thinks this drunk girl's trying to fucking get on with him. Like, I just got out of a relationship.
No, seriously.
When the fucking is it this point where the guy walks into the doors like, you want to keep your doors and windows locked?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And he gets him with like the cigarette ashtray or whatever. And it's another thing about this movie is that it's so particularly British, and I love British humor where it's
me too.
It's a specific kind of humor, you know. And he's like, you see his head go, like that's fucking particularly British, but hilarious.
Did you see that zombie earlier in the movie when he's like walking around or like he's on his way?
Pretty much every zombie was in the movie at some point.
He's like on the sidewalk when Shaun gets to his like thing, and he's like about to get.
That's right.
It's right there.
And like you're saying, almost every zombie is a cameo or is like
Mary was the one in front in the
she was
intro
doing the
scene.
checking. Yep. The kid, there's the person in the wheelchair. They're all, you see them all as normal people, which you'd never get from another zombie movie.
No, it's just somebody.
I think that's brilliant.
And the records.
Well, yeah.
The record scene is just like, I love the inventory of like what's good and what's not. Like Batman soundtrack, throw it. You know, it's Sinead, I like it.
I like it.
I like it.
But
Second
the fact
coming.
that they go to this level, and also, you have to talk about the fact that, like, if this happens in America, everybody's going to reach for their gun.
Yeah.
When you talk about this happening in the UK, where guns are not like a legal thing, other than like it's like a single shot sort of a thing, that like hunting rifles or whatnot, that you have to have registered. But nobody carries guns around.
Right.
That's why
It's
the
not normal in
rifle is
UK.
such a big deal above the bar. That's why that's such
Correct.
a huge
That's
thing.
why the rifle is such a big deal. And why whether or not it works, right? Why whether or not it works. But that's the thing, is nobody has a gun to just reach for, and why it makes it so much more of an interesting kind of folly,
Definitely.
And
like slinging records, like that's not gonna do anything.
Correct.
But when it does, like and they keep going. It just adds way more opportunity for comedy, because otherwise you would just shoot them.
Yeah.
And like in Dawn of the Dead, they just shoot a bunch of them, which adds to like the carnage of it. But
Yes.
in this, it's specifically comedic. The way a cricket bat.
They're,
come on.
they're back and forth.
Yes.
Shot of hitting it.
Yes.
And
blood
again,
starts
you've
popping
got
up.
red
where
on
they
you.
where
You
they
got red on you.
absolutely should have a payoff, or like dramatic music helping every single swing and hit that has happening. But you hear the music drop off during that point.
Yes.
And then it finally cuts back away to them at the car.
He's got his coffee in his hand.
Cornetto.
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 Like again, no payoff,
No.
no sound payoff, no nothing. It's just them watching the TV.
And the dialogue of it too, the like, next time I see you, you're dead. Like that kind of
Yes.
stuff. Even the once you go live in the shed, you thick fuck.
Yeah.
And eventually he lives in the shed.
He
like
does.
you don't have to do this.
No.
But I love you so much for doing this.
Because they all in the moment they all feel like genuine, like insults, or
Yeah.
genuine, like it's just a genuine dialogue, not planning for it later. It's
Yeah.
it's very well done.
We're coming to get you, Barbara. Obviously, from Night of the Living Dead. That's like one of the. Just naming her the character Barbara.
Yeah. They knew what they were
just
doing.
to do that line, probably.
That was the only
I mean,
reason.
come
Yeah.
on.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
this probably the most brilliant sequence of this movie is their 3 versions of the
Dude.
plan they're making up. Man, it is so fucking good. Like, come back, it's not exactly clean, is it? It's not exactly safe. The windows busted out and
okay.
shit.
Redo it.
Yeah, it's so fucking good.
Well, and every time they every time they go back into the story, it's a different filming of.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not the same shot. Like we
They
go to
took
get
time.
Barbara. They took time to be like, okay, for the second time, I want you guys to crisscross this way, and you hold her hand on this side, but the next time we'll hold her hand on the other side. Like you don't have
so gingerly, like everything's just fine.
Everything's
Sorry,
just fine.
Philip. Sorry.
Yeah. Take car. Go to Mom's. Kill Phil. Sorry. Grab Liz. Go to the Winchester. Have a nice cold punt and wait for this all to blow up.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. How's that for a piece of fried gold? It's lots of fried gold. I
So-
love that.
So scene 3, after picking up Liz, Diane, David, Shaun's mom, and stepdad Philip, they have to abandon the car when Philip turns into a zombie. On foot, they make their way to the Winchester after some cunning moves from Shaun. Did you laugh as hard as I did when you realized what? Like, we all know that they get the car. I'm jumping ahead a little bit here. We can go back. They jump. They get to Philip's and his mom's house. You wait outside. I'm going to keep circling the block. And you know that he crashes the car on purpose so that he can drive the
So
car.
drive the
but,
Jag.
but to think of, like, in his head, to literally go, like, nothing. I don't care that it's a zombie apocalypse. The only thing on my mind is that. And I have to fully commit to crashing this car in order to drive it.
And it's Pete's car, so I really don't
So
care.
I really don't give a shit.
But
Man,
imagine
Pete would
having
be so pissed if he knew I was going to drive his car.
I don't think so.
imagine having to crash a car on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, that seems like something that would be really hard to do.
Yeah.
True.
Right?
That hard.
In his head, him just going around the block going,
I had to
okay,
crash
how
that
could I do
car.
it? I got to put it in a spot to where they know they can see it. I can just point
Yeah.
to it. And I need a short walk. That sign. Like, unbelievable, man.
Crushed it.
I crushed that car.
And only
Guess we
to-
got to take the Jag.
And only to reference, when it's not all horror movie references, the Dazed and Confused reference. You like that?
Where is it?
So when they get Barbara and Philip, they pull up at Liz's, and the child locks her on, and he goes out the sunroof. He goes, "Watch the leather, man."
Oh, okay, nice.
Like, that's
okay.
totally Matthew McConaughey.
Nice.
Dazed and Confused, right?
I
like that.
want it to be.
Yeah.
Goes,
Yes.
Watch the leather, and then he looks at Barbara and goes,
This guy. Like, he is so cuddling up to Barbara.
He is.
Like,
Love
he
it.
loves Barbara, and she loves him.
It's like, well, your mom rang, see when you were going to be over. And then Liz rang about eating out, and then your mom rang back, see if I could eat her out.
What?
What'd you say? What?
It's engaged. That was quick.
That was quick. It's engaged.
Ed, not the Z word.
Not this. Okay, this is a point I need to. We can't like cross over here. We can't pass over it. When they are sitting there, and he's like, they still out there? The zombies are still out there? Don't say that word.
The Z word.
The Z word.
Why?
Why? Because just don't say it. It's just weird. It's like this. It's like all right, well, but are they?
I don't see them. Oh, yep.
Yep, they are. Doesn't look like. Oh, yep, there they are.
What's the commentary on that though? Like, that's kind of a play?
So zombie. The word zombie is genuinely almost never used in a zombie movie.
So like
Correct.
the undead or
Infected.
walkers.
Infected, walkers.
But why?
Because I think it's too it's like breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Oh,
because
okay.
that word exists in our world as a character.
Again, the zombies are not real.
Whereas if like now in our world, if somebody did happen to do this, it'd be like, dude, they're zombified. Again, playing on like how people would actually
They'd be zombies.
Yeah. It's like that's how people are going to respond to this. But you have to think, hey, well, don't say that. Don't say that word.
Yeah.
The Z word. Oh, okay. All right.
We don't know if that's actually what's going
Yeah,
on.
that's not actually what's going on. But you have that thing that like every other show, Walking Dead, they're walkers, the infected, the undead, whatever it happens to be, the Walking Dead. It's a play because they never say it.
Yeah.
So, and if you go back, you'll see that like no one ever says the word
Mom,
zombie.
what if I was to say that on several occasions he touched
He touched me?
Wasn't true. What I said just there?
I
I didn't say that. And her acting in that moment is so good too. It's such a good reaction.
She's
To go to that level, just be like, I fucking hate him.
I know. It's just like to take it to like that far and
Shouldn't have said that.
I'm sorry, Philip. For what?
hey. But this is where
I
we're
got rid of some of your toys. Oh, what?
I rang for the doctor. It's like, well, why did you do that? He's like, I don't think the doctor's gonna be coming. He's like, I ran it under a cold tap.
We've shut the curtains.
I told
Why
you
are
not
the
to worry about
particularly
Bobby.
British, man?
I
British
ran
are
it
my
under a
favorite
cold
people.
tap.
A cold tap. But man, this like when they do get in the car and Philip is dying and has that moment, like, man, dude, it gets better for me every time.
It's great.
I think
Because he is such a good dude.
Yeah, well, didn't we talk about this at like moments that surprise you or something? Like, hey, that
came out of nowhere.
These moments didn't have to go that hard. Like that is a genuine, like, heartfelt moment of sorts that you're like, oh man, like, and Shaun, like Simon Pegg's acting and response to this is really wonderful.
Underrated, man.
I
Yeah.
think this is an actual amazing death scene by Bill Nye. There's a good boy.
Yeah.
And he slumps. He goes completely limp. And that, it's like equally heartbreaking as there's like some dark comedy to it, but it's like he only got to say like that, there's a good boy, maybe like one time to Shaun
Yes.
ever in his life. And he's gone. Oh, it's so harsh.
Can I get this out of the way?
Yeah.
Punchable face.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
If we were on a train to go punch a face, I'm on board.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, it's David.
Was there any
No.
doubt
Just
in
getting
this?
it out of the way. It's David.
Yeah, so we don't even really have to talk about
No.
it.
I mean, there was some zombies that I wanted to punch.
Which one?
It's the way they look.
Honestly, as the twins, the biker twins.
Okay.
I call them the
okay.
biker twins.
Okay. Outside of the Winchester.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that.
So like there is that, but I mean in the end, oh no,
Big Al's pretty punchable.
you know what? It's Ed's doppelganger. I think it's Tim.
Oh,
Dude.
yeah.
Oh shit.
His
Good
hair.
call.
His hair is unbelievable.
When they pass each other going by each other, who now I never watched the show Spaced. I never watched Spaced. I'm kind of sad I haven't up to this point. But the girl, what's her name in this? The other girl that they passed by,
Is it Anne?
Simone, or like it's something like. Basically, they meet up at the fence.
Yep.
After the car, and it's like, oh, glad somebody made it. You know, that kind of a thing.
Sean. Yvonne.
Yvonne.
Yeah.
Those two, they were like the main characters of
Jessica
Spaced.
Hines.
Correct.
Jessica Hines.
She wrote
and
a lot of it.
As they passed by each other, then they have
They
like
were
the
matchups, weren't
doppelgangers. And it's very funny because they were in a false relationship or something
Gotcha.
in the show Spaced, and then like they're passing by each other. It's like, well, why don't those two just get together? But at the same time, they passed each other by. It's like, oh, you remember Liz? It's like, this is my boyfriend
Hi.
Dane, and this is so, and this is my mom with this, and this is Tim, my friend Tim. And he's like, hey, and they pass each other, and I love to think that there's several groups of 6 people, like a lot of groups of 6 people who are all falling into the same categories just over and over again. That's so funny.
There has to be a backstory between Shaun and Yvonne.
And Yvonne,
right?
yeah.
Because
definitely.
there's something like they had to have dated or something.
Yeah.
For a while, like in high school, and then like maybe like in college.
Maybe
Yeah.
right before you met Liz. Maybe yeah.
Yeah, I like to believe that.
It's got to be because she's like moving on with her life.
Yes.
Like I just bought a house. I know, real grown up, like that kind of thing.
no.
It's very funny. Yeah.
Well, then you talk about those mini oneers. My fucking favorite of the movie is the slide.
Stairs.
He goes.
Yes.
They're like, well, the Winchester's over there. Let me check to see if the coast is clear.
Is it clear?
he goes from like joy to like pure frightened scares.
Is it clear? No. How many? Lots.
It's so fucking good.
Another reference to like they're saying that back again. Like somebody said that beforehand.
Yes. Lots.
And it just never ends. Squeaky. You got squeak on you.
You got squeak on you.
But like those are the small references or the moments of it's like wait, is everybody here? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. It's like there's 6 of us. It's like it's like take a look at the face. It's like a drunk who's lost a bet.
Do you like her? Do you like
it.
Diane?
Yeah.
I think
I love
she's great.
I there's a point. I don't know if it's I hate to love her or if I love to hate her.
Right.
Like, you know, that kind of a thing. Or I think it's that I hate that I love her.
Yes.
Because I do in fact love her. Like I think it's great. Like her kind of ditziness but she has her serious moments. She's just along for the ride. She's affable. She just like wants to be a part of the fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She's also like cucking it up, basically.
Basically, yeah, I
With
know.
David.
It's like I was there to pick up the pieces, like that kind of thing. I don't know, like them getting out and finding their way to the Winchester is a pretty desperate series of events.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We did pass that up though. I do love Shaun, maybe you can help me out with this. I don't feel like I've seen a zombie movie where this has happened before, but they sort of focus on the fact that they keep their primal instincts.
Right.
Like you see it happen with Philip. The man in there is no longer the man you loved, and he reaches and he turns off the music. Like I feel like that's a really cool thing that not many other movies explore.
I think that there's so many things that you can explore with zombies.
Yes.
And like I think they like get, even acting like a zombie and going and being able to like pass as them to go through, or like in other movies, I think The Walking Dead is like put their muck all over them so they can't smell their flesh or something. Like whatever works for it. And I think this totally works. And I love, the aspect of there is still some of the human left, and I think that's their love of George A. Romero's Day of the Dead, where I think there's a one of the like stores or something that's in one of the shots is called Bubs, and Bub is the zombie in Day of the Dead.
That's right.
Where he is he's like being tested on to like see if he could become human again.
Gotcha.
And so he's like listening to music and everything and like cocking a gun because he used to be a soldier. That's where they got a lot of that.
Wow. Okay. Cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, and you even see it in the idea of all the zombies who are walking around, but you also see the one who is in a wheelchair. And instead of like them just like crawling themselves to things now at this point, if they're wheelchair bound, they're rolling themselves, trying to roll instead. And so you say like those base instincts, they're all still very much there. That's interesting.
It was cool.
I never actually thought about that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, let's go on to scene 4. So, unfortunately, the zombies have located them and begin to attack. Barbara's been bitten and turns into a zombie. David is devoured by zombies, and Diana chases after him.
The thing I love about zombie movies in general is like Dawn of the Dead. You got a whole fucking mall to yourself. That's badass.
It's the best.
Go to whatever store you want to, like the gun store in a mall.
You've been to a lock-in?
Yeah, exactly. Or like even
Once.
in this pub, like you have the whole place. Like even in Field of Dreams, we had the whole place to ourselves. We could do whatever we wanted inside there, But also like hunkering down, and trying to stay safe from an outside force or something like that. Like that's just cool to me. It's like, what are we gonna do? I guess we're gonna eat hog lumps and just chit chat and We'll have Ed do his orangutan thing from Every Which Way But Loose. But yeah, there's something
Might
about
be a
that.
bit warm. The cooler's off.
Yes. Thanks, babe.
Thanks, Brad.
Fucking, we do that all the time. But it's like a hangout kind of movie thing for me. It's very like comforting.
Is that what's so romantic and why we are so obsessed with zombie movies? Is that the act of like, well, what would you do? Is it like talking about the lottery? Like, well, if I won the lottery,
Sure.
I would do this.
Definitely.
What would you do if where would you go?
Well, all my problems just went away. The only problem I have is staying safe from these zombies.
I kind of like it.
The act of preferred isolation.
Yeah.
Because they run through it again as a joke of, well, why do we have to go to Liz's? Why do we have to go to Liz's? It's like well, because it's safe. It's safe, but I can't smoke there. It's like, oh, okay, well, how about this? Like, well, we'll go get Liz. We do the whole thing. We come right back here. We all hang out at our place. Well, it's not exactly like presentable, is it? You know, he's justifying it. Like he's thinking it's not exactly safe. Like the window's broken out, things like that. It's like, okay, we'll go to the Winchester. Yeah, I'd love to hang out in the Winchester. You've been to a lock-in before. Yeah, it's always super fun. Like it's just like we get beers, we get like our snacks.
You get your pig snacks.
What do you need? What more do you need? It's like, I just want to go to the Winchester.
But you got to humanize the goons here. Like David was right. Their apartment on the second floor was the safest place to be.
Probably the safest place to be.
Because within 12 hours ish, 16 hours, the army was going to show up and start killing everybody. They would have been fine. Those zombies aren't climbing the fucking thing.
Right.
And if Shaun had never showed up, no one would have even known they were there.
It's true.
They would have been fine, like just staying in, locking in. Like, yeah, you're right.
Him taking charge of his life finally was actually a downfall of a lot of them.
Right?
Of them.
What the fuck?
Right, because he brought his mom and Philip out.
They might have been okay.
They could have there's somebody. They're a bit bitey, but at the same time, I mean, they were inside. They were locked. They locked the doors.
Philip would have turned.
Oh shit! Philip would have turned and got mom
and got Barbara.
What was that a bite though? Are we sure that was something that would have turned him?
True. Yeah.
Because why hadn't he turned at this point? You know,
you're right. Because he got bit a second point. That was
Correct.
the thing that really did it.
That was what really did him in, like the blood loss and so on and so forth.
Okay.
She said specifically bitey though. So
she did say bitey.
If someone said that to my mom, I'd be like, we have to go get my mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, absolutely. You're right. And so, but in the end, it's probably because, he didn't kill Philip. He should have killed Philip. He didn't stick to his plan.
True.
That's why they had to get out of the car.
They would have had the car.
Yep.
They would have had the Jag.
So, just saying.
Do you feel that there are some genuinely scary moments in this movie?
Definitely. Oh
yes.
I think for me the biggest one is the flipping on the breakers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And he turns the light on and the zombies are right there in the mirror. Like there are
shuts the shade.
He walks out. So yeah, I feel like that's one of the more genuinely frightening moments of this movie.
I think even just like the makeup on a lot of the the white eyes and everything is very eerie.
I think it's very good.
Yeah.
I think it's really good. Like I think you get to some of the very genuinely scary parts at the Winchester, but there are those points leading up to it, like with the man in the pajamas.
Yeah.
Having to kill him, like with the tetherball thing.
Oh shit! Yeah.
No, it's rubbish. Other way. And like that kind of stuff. But but at the same time, you get these moments that are broken up when they're trying to get into the Winchester.
Yeah, that's true.
That's very scary, and they managed to break it up very well. Like Ed getting a call from Noel again.
Yeah.
He's like,
still asking. No, I still.
He's like, 2 seconds. He's like, no, man, I ain't got nothing on me. He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm out and about. I know it's pretty crazy what's going on, right? It's like, hey, fuck off. This is like, you fuck off. He's like, he's talking to Noel again about scoring some trucks. Yeah, and just saying like, yeah, it's kind of crazy what's going on, right? It's like, oh man, so
can you believe
weird.
this shit?
And then surprised the cell phone service worked at that point.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's like, wow, they weren't like on emergency. Okay, that's fine. But you have those moments that everyone all the zombies are looking at them afterwards.
Yeah,
that's a very scary moment, especially when they pinpoint onto faces of zombies. And I think that's also something I don't think you get a lot of. You only see zombies really as like horde or mob style, and there's a lot of them, and that's what's scary. But you see the faces of them, that they individual shots on them, and I think that actually adds a lot to it.
On the commentary of this movie with Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg, the scene where they are trying to get into the Winchester, and David throws a can against the window
Yep.
and then breaks the window. And then Shaun does a distraction. He gets up on the thing. He's like, hey, look at me. And he said as he did that, when his reaction when he's like, oh fuck,
Like he actually saw.
they all
them.
looked at him. That was genuine. He's like, oh shit, like that's fucking freaky to
Yeah.
look
There
at.
were
You
a
know?
lot there too, man.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I know. I think that's there are very, very, very spooky moments in
Dude,
this movie.
David's death is so satisfying.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying.
And it's awesome. Like it's really well done.
I think it's even deeper than that. Like, you know, we see all these moments that we just absolutely fucking hate David.
Yeah.
When he wants to shoot and he pulls the trigger to shoot Shaun.
Yeah.
Yo.
He was gonna kill him.
You know, in the end, he
That's dark.
He doesn't have like any real like empathy or sympathy for like the situation at hand with his mom, and then on top of that, he does end up actually going to pull the trigger to kill Shaun.
Yeah.
And then he panics and he's like, "I'm getting out of here. Like we can go, we can run, we can do whatever." And then he has that moment, that glimpse of like, I'm saying sorry, and he looks at Shaun. And he says, Shaun, and then it breaks through,
Yeah.
and he doesn't even get his moment of redemption before he is literally split open and pulled apart.
Did you guys notice too, like when they are coming in to the Winchester, Ed is guiding Shaun on how to shoot, right? And it's
Okay.
basically the mirror image of the scene when he was coaching Ed on how to shoot in the video game.
Playing Time Splitters too.
Yes.
So he's like, "Oh, top left," and Shaun shoots top left.
That's
He's
right.
like, "Oh, reload," and he reloads.
Oh,
and
nice
like,
shot.
Oh, nice shot! When he gets the guy in the head, it's mirror image of it.
Come on, man.
It's so good.
Every time I watch this movie, there's something different.
Yeah,
The one thing I don't understand, nor do I care, is like why does Diana feel the need to chase after him?
yeah. She's just.
It's
get
just we
rid of
just
her.
had to get her
Yeah.
out of the scene at some point. That was a little bit of a throwaway, but also like, whatever.
It was a little bit of a throwaway death.
She
you
did
know?
need to be gone. It needed to be those three
Yeah.
at this point.
It's true, and you know, because I do believe, like, as much as Diane is like aware of, she even expresses
she
how
fucking-
aware of the situation she is, that David really likes Liz, but she does really love David. I think
guess
she
so.
really does like David, at least to some
Character flaw
extent.
for her, but that's
correct
understood.
character flaw,
Yeah.
and going after them. It's good that it wasn't necessarily near as gruesome as David, though.
Yeah,
Well, they s-
Because
it's funny
she
how,
basically gets swallowed by the horde.
Yeah.
you
They
know?
said she's like gone on record in the DVD commentary saying that
alive.
she makes it out, finds a place, and then's rescued by the
If
military.
you get the
That'd be great.
DVD or the Blu-ray of this, it's fun because they all the plot holes like that. They explain like how Shaun.
Nope, this
got-
happened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
no, I was good. Like you know, it's in a funny way.
Yes.
Even like with Diane, it's like no, I got through and I'm all good. Now
They
I'm-
let it go canon like that?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
really good.
Oh, I want to watch that now.
It's fucking awesome. I think we got to hit the prop button here.
Ooh, here's a prop.
I'm gonna let you guys go first.
I want the rifle.
That is what I wanted.
Now you got to get something different.
I know. I want the cricket bat.
Oh,
Nice.
okay. I actually want just because I've never seen a sign like this, nor do I understand what it even means or why you'd put it up. The Winchester has a patrons, please be quiet and orderly when leaving the premises.
Yeah.
Like that seems like a weird thing to tell people, but
Yeah.
also I think it's really great that it's a sign. So yeah, I want it on our wall.
Hell yeah.
We should put it like as a sign, like when football
Outside the
players
door.
leave the locker room, we have
Yeah.
to just put it
Yeah,
outside.
I know,
our
yeah,
door.
You got to hit it right up there.
Be quiet when you leave.
Good game,
this-
guys.
Yeah.
All right,
Good game,
let's
everybody.
do this.
Yes. I think just adding to that cricket bat, I think we need like one of those like barrels that you just like, or like little things you have by the door that you keep like, oh yeah, we put like
Umbrellas.
bats and umbrellas and a
Yes.
cricket bat and a rake and like a broom
Yep,
and all
yep.
that stuff in there, because they're all this like these long handled tools.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna do, and I think it's gonna be right over there.
Right
Okay.
there.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Well, let's go to the final scene, scene 5. Ed, Shaun, and Liz escape to the basement of the pub, but Ed has been bitten. Just when all hope has been lost, Shaun and Liz escape and are rescued by the military. Life starts over with a new normal for our main characters.
I do find it cool too. We didn't really talk about "Don't Stop Me Now," the Queen song. How in sync they are with
Yeah.
the beat and everything.
But the whole thing, like even beyond them hitting them, all the sound effects and things are
Yes.
happening on beat to the song.
And it's basically a telling of how he would make Baby Driver. Like that's basically Baby Driver. It's like the soundtrack is that movie, you know? Like everything that's happening in the
Yes.
songs is commenting on what's happening in the scene. So that's really cool, but also it like got this song back into popularity kind of like Wayne's World did.
Same thing.
With Bohemian
Bohemian-
Rhapsody.
Kill the queen. What? No, the song.
The moment of them going through, and you referenced it earlier when I think Ed's getting ready to throw a Molotov that he makes, but then they break in around him, and one of those zombies is Pete, and the next time I see you, you're dead.
Yeah.
And there he is. He's dead again. And I love he's still naked. Just like he's just a big like naked zombie at this point.
Right. He's a big man.
He's a big dude.
Yes, he is.
And it's
many ways.
that moment of Pete, leave him alone, right through the eye. You know, there's these very, very golden, dramatic moments that happen throughout this movie that are, whether it be, you know, Philip dying, Barbara's is heartbreaking.
Pickles.
Oh, it's so heartbreaking. And then this moment when it's his best friend again now, who's in the demise of basically, and he's just going through it. But it's so well done. This horde mentality again of like the safe space closing in around you. I think it's quintessential zombie movie, and them being reduced to the behind the bar. So good.
That is the threat of like quote unquote Romero zombies, is that they are slow and like 28 days later they're fast. So that's obviously extremely fucking frightening, and probably even more frightening than these kinds of zombies. But with these is that they are so many of them in a horde. They will overwhelm you very easily, and
you can't get out.
That's the thing.
There's something to be said about like basically a single shot, lever action rifle against this horde. It's like
what's the point?
It's not going to make the biggest difference in the world, but at least there's some sense of safety behind it. I don't know. It's very interesting.
I love how they get down to this cellar, and they were like, "Well, I don't know if I have the will to shoot my mom, my best friend, and my girlfriend all on the same day, and myself." I love that, and I love how they're just like, let's just smoke a cigarette. Fuck, or like she got the cigarettes out of the bin. I love that moment. And then obviously the moments of the callback of the fart with Ed is great, and it's also very heartwarming as well. Like the when they put their heads up.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's very, very cool, and I love their friendship in all of these movies and in real life, I guess, too.
There's a moment, sorry, I was just going to say, there's a moment when when he gives him the rifle, and he gives him that thing, and they're on their way up. It's like, bye, Ed. He just says, cheers. There's just equally heartbreaking about him just sitting there nursing his wound, and he's just like, yep.
Whatever.
It's all
I
good.
love you.
Think you better make a go of it.
Gay.
I'll only hold you back. Gay.
Very 2004 for sure.
It's like, because I love her. Okay, all right.
Gay.
You're just like, come on, man. Like,
the thing I noticed most on this critical rewatch is like what has changed and what hasn't. Like he's given up these cigarettes to try to get with Liz. But the only reason that they technically get saved is because she still has those cigarettes and they light up the lighter to then see it. So, like, because he's still going to have this cigarette that he said he was going to give up, actually saves them, but then he makes the choice to not even smoke it and gives it to Ed. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a lot going on here because, like, where did he, this is such a tough time in everyone's life. What are we assuming? He's like 25, 26, 27 years old.
Who, Shaun?
Yeah,
he's
Shaun.
29 is what he says.
Okay, so yeah, you've got this end of your 20s where you're trying to figure out which route you're going to go on. It's such a great commentary on, are you going Ed's route? Are you going Pete's route? Are you trying to save your girlfriend? But like, I think we realize in this that like you can't just change who you are.
Yeah.
Like you can't just go, we're changing in who I am, because in actuality, like he makes the efforts to at least be a better human and a better boyfriend, which then allows him to still hang on to like what he normally would. His life is better for it, but he didn't just like give up everything. He didn't give up playing video games with Ed. He didn't give up like going to the bar. Their new life is they still go to the bar, but they're just more conscious of being better together and like growing up, and like the place is clean now.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just love how it's not a cut and dry ending. Like things are still not great. Like they're still trying to live their lives and figure it out, but I don't know. Like
it's an idea of like you are who you are, but you can be a better version of yourself.
Yeah, always.
You know?
Always. And even if Ed didn't turn or like didn't die in this movie, like Ed's his best friend. You know, like the only thing that's going to change is that we probably got to move out from one another,
Yeah,
man.
some point.
I'm gonna go with Liz, but I'm still gonna fucking hang out with you. I'm still gonna go to Winchester every Wednesday or whatever,
It's
Yeah.
not every
I'll still
night.
see you, man.
Wednesday
Yeah.
night trivia. We gotta go
That's-
for that.
That's what it'll be, but you want to keep growing, and that's
Yes.
growing. And like, if you want to come with me, great. If not, I gotta keep going.
But I'm a firm believer in there's not the far left, far right. Like
Right.
there is just this like, why can't we take bits of everything? Why
Yeah.
can't we be fun and spontaneous and play video games on Wednesday night and go to the Winchester for trivia? But also on Friday, like we're going on a date. Me and my girlfriend are
Yeah.
going on a very nice date. We're gonna leave town for
I'm
the
gonna go
weekend.
hang out with her friends on
Yes.
this day.
Yeah. Why can't you meet in the middle in life? And I'm hoping that's sort of what the ending of this movie was. Is like,
It's compromise.
figure it out,
Yeah.
compromise. Like it's not perfect, but at least let's move in this direction and not get stuck in a rut.
Maybe it's perfect for them. You
Yeah.
know, maybe that is what's perfect for them, especially after such a traumatizing experience that it is perfect that you don't have to be it's not rock stars and movie stars and all this stuff, that your life can be perfect the way that you want it, to be able to, because God knows it could be a hell of a lot worse. You could be still a zombie working and pushing carts or something, or
little
working
dark.
a 9 to 5.
It's basically
And-
slavery.
And,
a little dark.
and other zombies have become sheer random entertainment on TV. And
Most extreme elimination challenge.
yeah, like that
Zombie
kind-
version.
I love that
basically,
show.
right?
Wipeout.
And it's like, oh, he's almost got it. Oh, there's dance, monkey dance. It's a comment. It still is. They're still commentating on entertainment, on life, on everything. I think that's me reading into it real heavy, and saying like, even the crap you watch on TV, they're still zombies too.
And the callbacks again to the woman who's on the game that's dating, like
Yeah.
they were on TV earlier
Yeah.
on a game show.
Of
like,
course,
come
I still love him. Like, it's
Still
like
my husband.
he's still my husband. Like, people who are locked into relationships with like stale people relationships.
Jesus,
the same
fucking
as Shaun.
Christ, dude.
Isn't it intense? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of an intense commentary that you can really
I
dive
can't
in
leave
on.
him. I've been with him for
I've been
so
with him.
long.
Yeah, see, it's like,
Oh God.
you still go to bed with him?
This movie's kind of dark, sort of, because like the world's all wrapped up, but like the world's fucked. How many
yeah.
people just died and are still zombies? And like, we're just having a good time.
yeah.
I
I
just
take two in my sugar.
Yeah.
two in my tea now.
And now he takes sugar in his tea.
Ooh.
Ooh, adventurous. Because when he's at his mom's, he's like, I haven't had sugar in my tea since I was like 19 or something. But then, like I say, it's a great commentary, I think, on society. Kind of throughout the whole thing, it's very subtle at points, very obvious at other points. We talked about it at one point. I think it actually might have been Bert's movie, where we talked about how, like, being yourself is what will lead you to probably a better place in the world, rather than trying to be what everyone else wants you to be.
Which is what Pete was doing.
Which is what Pete was doing, which is why he ended up in the demise of this whole thing. Whereas, like you said about the cigarettes, like, maybe it was the cigarettes that saved him, and if they had fully given that up, they would have killed themselves possibly right before they found their escape.
Yeah.
It's very interesting, man. You got to be yourself to a degree. Just be a better version of yourself.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think, boys?
Let's do
Anything-
it.
Let's wrap this up. We have talked about this with a modern eye. It's time to give it a modern day rating. Shaun, I'm going to stick with the trend, man. I'm going to go with you first.
I still love this movie, man. I think it's one of the best comedies of all time. I think that it was at a Wired article that said one of the laughs per minute was one of the top 10.
It was. It was. It was in there.
I totally agree with that. I think and you could rewatch this movie any fucking time, man. And it's so funny, and I think you could rewatch it and find different things. I think that's great about it. I love what it started for this filmmaking crew. I will, like I said, revisit this anytime. It's a great zombie movie on top of being a great comedy. There's really nothing wrong with it. I do, on the other hand, feel a little bit of the pacing towards the end for me. And I'm just going to dock it a little bit. I'm going to go a 9.5.
9.5 for Shaun or AJ. What do you got on this, man?
I need 2 pieces of info from you there.
Okay, what do you got,
Michael.
man?
I need to know what was my nostalgic rating?
Well, your nostalgic rating was a 9.5.
That's figures. And what did I give Airplane?
You gave Airplane for a modern day rating a 9.45.
Wow. So that means I'm going to gonna stick with this basically 100%. Spoilers. I'm a 9.5 still. I actually think that I only say this because I probably want to revisit this movie more than I want to revisit Airplane as far as like the comedy level. I think Airplane is a Godfather comedy movie, but I think this is a new school version of how you do something, how you spoof something, how you reference things. Shaun of the Dead has become a borderline comfort movie for me, even though that there are these like horror spooky aspects. And I revisit this movie at all parts of the year, and it throws me into the other movies in the spiritual Cornetto trilogy. So they are some of my favorite comedy writing, some of my favorite comedy acting. I think Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are one of the most amazing comedy duos that we've actually had of our generation. And I can't say enough good things about this. I will agree with Shaun on the pacing, but unfortunately, like I've always kind of felt that way.
Yeah.
So even nostalgically, I kind of felt that way. So I'm not going to dock it at all. I'm sticking with that 9.5, baby.
Yeah, the older I get, the more I find myself looking back on that period of my life, my late 20s, early 30s, and the tough transition that is. And I feel like this is such a great commentary on not only that transition in life, but the zombification of just the world. And this is even before like cell phones are what they are. Like, it's even worse to me that we all are zombified. We do the same things every day and we fall in those ruts. And I just love it. I love this movie. I love everything about it. I'm going to pop that up into my like 5th or 6th spot with an 8.86 for me. We got to go. We got to see what Michael Giuliano, this is his first test.
Let's go, Michael.
We got to see what he's got to say about this. He says, somehow, despite considering myself a pretty big Edgar Wright fan, Scott Pilgrim is in my top 10 movies, and Hot Fuzz was viewed on repeat during college.
Love it.
It's been a very long time since I last gave Shaun another shot. I felt like it's the most critically acclaimed of the Cornetto trilogy, so with a few more years of movie-going experience behind me, I was expecting my mostly full-formed adult brain to find all the stuff my annoying tween self missed. Instead, I still found myself just kind of bored, which really disappointed me. My grandma brought me up on Faulty Towers and Keeping Up Appearances, so it's not like I'm a stranger to the English sense of humor. This is just something entirely different. I think that this movie is really good at being clever instead of outright funny. And while I can appreciate a really clever movie and enjoy all the little Easter eggs and clues scattered throughout, sometimes you just want to actually have a nice big laugh during a comedic film. That being said, I really do like the acting in the movie, Bill Nighy especially, and the bromance between Shaun and Ed is probably the most heartwarming and believable Peg-Frost relationship out of any of their collaborations, though Sergeant Angel and Constable Butterman in Hot Fuzz are a close second.
Love it.
I also have to say thank you to Shaun of the Dead for giving us the single best weapon in Left 4 Dead 2. The cricket bat will always be my favorite, and I am forever in debt to Edgar Wright, Simon Pegg, and Nick Frost for gifting the world that wonderful zombie-killing powerhouse. My modern-day rating is a 7.25.
All right.
So we are at a 8.78 for this movie, which if you go into our modern-day ratings, that falls into number 10.
Whoa.
That is just below Big Lebowski and Reservoir Dogs, just above Dumb and Dumber and The Sandlot is where that movie falls.
I think that
I love it.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love it. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode, everybody. We love you so much for being here. Tune in next week. Spooky season continues on. We dive deep to see AJ's worst fears come to true fruition. We're going to get Blair Witched.
Yeah.
And then we're moving on to Scream. And if you're new to the podcast, go back this time last year, our live 2-year anniversary show at Cedar Ridge doing Roadhouse.
Roadhouse,
was the episode,
boy.
and it was fantastic.
Hell yeah. Hit that up.
Roadhouse. Think about Roadhouse.
Spooky season is upon us, guys. The veil is thinning, as Shaun likes to say. So if you want to tune in more and find out how much I really just hold this time of year in contention, make sure you're continuing along. We really do appreciate you listening this whole time. This is about as spooky as I like to get. Make sure you are giving us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, anywhere that you're listening. Follow us on social media at Confused Breakfast. Just search Confused Breakfast on any social media outlet. And by all means, check us out on YouTube, because we're here hanging out on YouTube. You can see all the quirks and see what's making that squeak right here on YouTube.
go to confusedbreakfast.com and check out our merch store. You can buy some shirts, you can buy some pins, you can buy some hats, you can buy some cricket bats, you can buy some koozies. Go to
Cornettos.
confusedbreakfast.com as well to see all of our ratings, see AJ's rating, see Mike's rating, see my rating, and then see all of them combined. Goodbye, I gotta piss.
Please support our sponsors. Go to patreon.com/confusedbreakfast to directly sponsor this podcast and get a lot of cool stuff. Hopefully your money will go towards a new mic stand that won't make me be off to the side like this. And we are produced by the Upload Media Group in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Craig on the controls, being the man. Woo! And we are part of the Cloud 10 iHeart Podcast Network. Learn more at cloud10.fm.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
It's not the end of the world.